Are you ready? It's time for the Beastcast. Well, hello, and welcome to the Beastcast episode, what is this, 38 now? Holy crap, dude. As always, I am not only just a nut, an absolute insane, crazy host, but I usually have my co-host, and today I do, Mr. Raven Scones the Bones.
Woo, me.
Raven is going absolutely berserk right now.
100%.
Raven watched, I'm pretty sure, Raven, you watched that movie, right? That you were telling me that you got downloaded?
No, I didn't watch it. It was too late.
Dang. Yeah, I guess. I always just think you're like always just staying up like until like 7 in the morning, like every night.
No.
Going through the depths.
Not all the time.
Going through the depths of the internet.
I wish.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't like staying up that late. It hurts my eyes. See, only reason I don't stay up that late is because of that simple rule, is because like I literally wake up and my eyes just burn. And I hate taking eye drops, so. But yeah, so we have some crazy things that have gone through the ringer today. Number one crazy thing is I got married. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm using a new microphone though. I am in the KILT Studio, so we've been promoting KILT Studio a lot. And I am using the KILT Studio equipment for this show. So I also have a big announcement coming for KILT Studio as well, but that is going to be another time. So, but if you are interested in that, you live in an area, or if you go to the college that I go to, you know, and you want to use this equipment, stay tuned because I will be uploading a video very soon talking about all the stuff that we have to offer here. Considering that I didn't have to, but I helped build the studio back up because originally when I got here, this studio was a mess. I'm gonna put it frankly, and it was like, dude, like there was like spilled coffee on the ground. There was like a bunch of like the setup was basically just one microphone and a computer, and it was just like, you know. But we have a whole range of things, you know. We completely revamped this whole place and it looks awesome. But so the last time you heard from us was on the Beast Unleashed, and we were talking about the Ray movie, and I wanted to say thank you to that one guy that said this is the worst video I've ever seen. I absolutely appreciate that.
Yes, thank you very much.
Another guy commented too. The video did pretty well actually. Why is YouTube just not the first thing that just pops up? God, that ticks me off. YouTube should just be automatically like right on there. Oh. Oh God. But yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go. So there was another comment too. How do you see comments these days? Oops. Actually, how do you see comments? Oh, there we go. We have to go full screen. I'm a spite watch this. Do more. I don't know what that means, but user RW9JT8MJ50. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. I have no idea what that means though, so but yeah, appreciate you, boy. What does it mean, do more? Like, what more could we do? Like,
it means he wants us to do more, but he's basically watching it out of anger or spite.
But do I get that, but like do more of what? Like, this is a podcast.
Do more. Just do more.
Oh. Do you think
he probably hates Star Wars, maybe. I don't know.
Oh. Oh, I thought he was saying like do more in the videos. Like you guys should be doing more. And I'm like, dude, it's a podcast. Like I can only use my voice for so long, you know, but I get what he's meaning. He wants us to do more of these type of. Oh, okay. Okay. You know what? That's actually not a bad comment. That's actually a kind of a W comment if you look at it that way.
Yeah, just do more.
Do more. Yeah. Um so thank you guys. That was a good episode. Actually, it did pretty good on YouTube, considering that these are like the backup. I've noticed something, dude. I think it's just a YouTube algorithm, because see the podcasts always do okay, but like the Beast Unleashed always end up doing usually better than the podcast. Almost. I guess it's kind of 50-50. This podcast was just absolutely. I knew this one was gonna suck because it was not a good episode, but like for a while there, we were dropped off. We were done. Like nobody was listening on YouTube. But this dude, like when we were having our lowest YouTube listeners, we were having our most Spotify listeners. So it kind of like has just been like a reverse. Like we have just kind of reversed the change, I guess. But yeah. So Raven, any BYOTs, bring your own topics that you want to discuss? I know you had something big you wanted to discuss. I don't know if you want to saving it for lunch or what, but you want.
Yeah, it was the Ubisoft CEO,
Oh
and
yeah, we can talk about
his
that.
comments on what could the future could be, or where the future could be pushed when it came to video games and owning them.
Okay, let's absolutely talk about that. I think that's a good way to start this episode, just because it gives everybody a reason to listen. So, Raven, run us down on exactly what Mr. Big ol' Ubisoft, Ubi Gooby Soft, wanted to do, and claims what are basically what they said. Because I saw the article. I eventually saw the article. So Raven, why don't you just break everybody down? You know, break it down.
So the CEO compared owning your video game to basically having a DVD copy, and that what they would like to do is in the near future switch to only having a subscription to access your games, and that people needed to get comfortable with the idea that they didn't fully own their video games. This comes out of earlier last year, where Ubisoft actually completely removed a game from their library because they saw that absolutely nobody was playing it. But because people did own it and did play it, there were some who were all like, no, I bought and paid for that. You can't remove it from my library and give me absolutely no compensation. And it caused a huge backlash from Ubisoft. Well, if you go under a subscription base service, they can basically cut off access to whatever games that they want to. You'll never own anything, and they can basically tell you up, well, we don't we don't want you to have that. And you will never be able to claim ownership or a license to anything you put your money towards because it'll be subscription only.
So, um, this is the thing that I also I also am kind of this is a huge topic. Like this isn't something that is just Ubisoft. But the thing is about this topic is I think this is a great way to open the show, because it goes against everything that we as a show stand for. We have been very open about buying physical media, owning physical media. Me and Raven are both really big on when it comes to actually owning things. Now, I will go in to this from both perspectives, because this, if people who are like, oh, I'm a movie listener, I don't give a shit about the video game industry, well, this also affects you. And there's prime example coming out right now as we speak, like within the past month. But I just want to point something out first. if if I don't own, like, if ownership isn't like, if there is no ownership, then what's the point of, getting mad over theft? You know, there's a really good quote I had saved that somebody said, right? I'll have to find it. But while I find it, basically this guy was saying that, like, if I don't own the game, then why are you gonna get like if there's no way for me to own the game, then why would you get mad if I pirated it?
Yeah, if purchase isn't ownership, then the piracy isn't theft.
Yeah, yeah. Purchase isn't ownership, then piracy isn't theft. Exactly. That was the quote. That is I think like the greatest quote for this, because Ubisoft will be like, oh well, no, you still have to pay for it, but you're getting all these other games too. I don't want your other games. I want I want that one game that I bought. I don't want all your games for months. That just
Yeah,
because like Ubisoft does Assassin's Creed, right?
yeah, they do.
So like, could you imagine if like you wanted to buy all the Assassin's Creed games, but you don't want Battlefield, you hate Battlefield, but the only way to get all the Assassin's Creed games is you have to pay $15 a month for a subscription service, and you don't own them. There's no way to own them, because you're a big Assassin's Creed guy. Like, could you imagine if like all the Assassin's Creed games you had right now just got removed from your library and they go, nah? You'd be pissed.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous. And for you movie lovers, and this is why I was saying, for you movie lovers who are like, oh, the video game industry doesn't affect me, they're two different things. So here's what I gotta say about that. Yeah, that's what I gotta say to you. But the thing is about the movie industry is this is happening in the movie industry right now. I think it was Discovery Plus, or it might have been, yeah, it was Discovery. The Discovery Channel, who have like Ghost Adventures and all those weird shows like that, like diners, drive-ins, and whatever bullshit. They recently removed or were removing people's ownership of their digitally purchased seasons of shows on the PlayStation Store. And we're planning to do that same thing on Apple and all these other places, but you have to give them time, and like Amazon and all that and all those places. So this affects you too, because if one company can do it, what's stopping all the companies from doing it? Because I'm sure there's somewhere in their clause of the when you purchase it that says, oh, if you actually don't own this, whatever, we can take it back at any time. And could you imagine, just for example, let's say you're a big like Ghost Adventures fan. And I think probably Ghost Adventures might have been affected by this. I don't exactly know. But let's say, you've bought every single season of Ghost Adventures digitally, right? Like you have season 1 through 30, which would probably cost you about like $400, right? Okay. So let's say you spent $400 because you just absolutely love Zach Baggins. He's just so hot to you, right? So then you're watching all the episodes, and all of a sudden one day you go onto your PlayStation, you're like, I'm gonna watch these, and they're gone. Without any warning, without any refund, they're gone. So you look it up. Where did they go? And then you find out, oh, Discovery Plus wants you to pay money for the Discovery Plus app or whatever it is. I don't know. And they want you to pay like however it is a month to basically watch these same things that you owned, but now you have to repay for it every single month to watch them. But hey, you get all these other shows too, so why wouldn't you want to stream it? Well, I can tell you why I didn't want to stream it. I fucking own them. I only like watching Ghost Adventures. I only want to watch Ghost Adventures. And I don't actually like Ghost Adventures. I used to when I was younger, but I don't actually like Ghost Adventures. I'm just using that as the example, right? Because, like, if your favorite TV show, like, I don't know, like, oh, God, I just immediately thought of Adam's Ruins Everything, but that is not a fucking Discovery TV show. But could you imagine if just, like, a TV show like that, like, I own a season, I'm fairly certain I own a season of that on YouTube. Somewhere. Yeah, I do. I actually own a season of fucking of Ghost Adventures too. But could you imagine if like well, no, I don't own an okay, I know what I own. I own a episode, I'm pretty sure. See, look, they make you, what is this? Like, why is this in here? Ooh. Gross. Yeah, dude, I used to use YouTube as like my one-stop shop for everything. Look at all these. So, dude, okay, Raven, have you used the Movies Anywhere app? Raven?
What?
Have you used the Movies Anywhere app before?
No.
So when like you purchase a physical movie?
Yeah.
So when you purchase a physical movie, you know how there's like the little download code in there?
Yeah.
For the digital? So the Movies Anywhere app, you basically download the Movies Anywhere app, and you scan the QR code on that, or type in the code, of that movie, for the digital download, and you can get them on YouTube, on Amazon, on your phone, anywhere. So look, I now have Oppenheimer on the go. I'm not gonna play it with audio, please. Okay, but like I can watch this now anywhere. See, look, I think it might be blocked out because we have hardware acceleration on for you, but um, is it blocked out for you?
Yeah, it's blacked out. But
Yeah, because I have hardware acceleration on this computer. But for example, you see this, I have Dune, I have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Bullet Train, Happy Gilmore, Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith, Spider-Man, Mortal Kombat 2, The Visit. And then for some reason I have Frozen. I don't remember buying that, but that was probably my aunt. The Fifth Wave, I also don't remember buying that. That is weird. But the rest of these are mine. And then I bought one episode of Ghost Adventures one time, and now they're like, "Hey, pay to watch this whole season." But I know I own the first 3 seasons of Adams Ruins Everything. So could you imagine if like I just clicked on here one day, and I went to like see like one of the seasons that I bought. See, like, look, you see how it says purchase? Could you imagine if I went here and they go, "Oh, actually, you don't own this anymore, but you can watch it on, you can watch it on whoever owns this, Like that's
yeah,
dumb. That is stupid. And same with these too. Like the fact that they actually let you have digital versions of those movies is awesome. Like honestly, sometimes, dude, I don't even buy buying digital. I don't think people realize how good it is to buy physically. Like if you buy a movie physically, you can still watch it digitally, even if you don't have a Blu-ray player. Like if you buy it, you can now own the movie with a digital copy, and now you also own a physical copy just in case.
yeah.
So that's how I am. Now I am pissed because sometimes the codes expire too soon. For example, my Wolf of Wall Street and American Psycho copies both expired like a month ago, right? Or not a month ago, but like a month before before I had even purchased it. So I was a little upset. But most of the time they work perfectly fine. They usually last for like 3 years. But the thing is, the American Psycho copy had to have been sitting there for like 5 years because like even though it was a UHD 4K version, it like that movie's old. So, but yeah, it's kind of cool. So
Yeah. And you know, from this, because IGN had posted an article about what the CEO had said, the CEO of Lyon Studios, the one that made Baldur's Gate 3, had came out and said on Twitter that they didn't like this idea, as common sense would want you to not like it, because products should be going directly from the developer to the consumer. And that once you start encouraging subscriptions, those platforms will then start to gatekeep what can and can't be published on it. So let's imagine that Steam is now a $15 a month platform. You get everything available on Steam. That sounds really cool. Never have to pay $100 for a collector's edition again. But now a game you've been waiting for that looks amazing, looks nice, looks like it's going to be the next Elden Ring. Steam is like, we find people who are making your game problematic. We're not allowing you to publish it. Now they don't have a platform because gatekeeping will be a thing thanks to these subscriptions.
oh my
And
god.
so,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
and so, of course, during this moment, CD Projekt Red owns a website called GOG, that actually sells you DRM-free games, meaning that after you pay for it, and of course you verify that you've paid for it, you can download the files to the game, and then you never have to verify you bought the game. Like you just download the files, and I could give them to you on a flash drive, and you'll never have to worry about signing into an account when you open them. Like you get them, and it's like I just gave you a PlayStation 2 disc. You can play them.
Yeah, and see, honestly, and I know the big thing is like, but you're gonna ruin it. You're gonna do all these things to that. So it's my copy.
Exactly.
If it's not an online game, if I ain't ruining anybody else's experience, why do you give a shit if I do something to the game? But you're ruining the integrity of the game. Oh my god, I am so sorry that I'm ruining the integrity of your perfect product. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
okay. No. I respect that. The thing is what people don't understand is like Steam is a licensing service. And I think people need to realize that, yeah, owning games on Steam is cool because Steam is like, you know, been around forever. Like you can own it. Isn't it crazy that you don't have to worry about getting a new console? You don't have to worry about anything. You can buy CS:GO from 2012, and you can also own Baldur's Gate 3, and you can also own Black Ops 3, and you can own all these games on one platform. But here's the thing, it's a licensed service, which means if at any point, you know, if something were to happen, you know, you're gone. You know, it could like your whole library could be absolutely berserk. And also, this was the oh my god thing that I was just saying, because actually, apparently the Discovery Plus thing had changed. So they were pulling all the their whole, like, apparently all Discovery shows were gonna be pulled on December 31st. And they were starting to pull shows, but Sony and Discovery Plus came to an agreement. So I'm sure there was some money involved that Sony had to pay for them. But get this, Sony came to an agreement for an updated licensing agreement, and so now the Discovery shows are back in people's libraries. However, they were gone for a brief moment, which means that this should scare you, because if they can go away once, they can go away again. So I'm not like Alex Jones fear mongering, like hide your kids, hide your wives, the FEMA camps are opening up. But what I am saying, you know, is be careful of what you purchase digitally, because sometimes you might not own that anymore. Like if somebody really wanted to, they could take it away, you know? And that's the thing with Ubisoft. It's like I'm worried about buying a Ubisoft game. I mean, I don't even know how many Ubisoft games I own right now. I can't even think off the top of my head. I own like a couple Assassin's Creed games. I own Battlefield 1, but that's on disc and that's really old. I own Battlefield. I guess I own Battlefield 2042 on PlayStation 5. What other Ubisoft game? Ubisoft. No, that's EA that does the Star Wars games, right? That's not Ubisoft. Yeah.
Yeah. I was about ready to be like, he better catch himself, bro.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Battlefield is not Ubisoft.
It's not. It's EA.
Yeah.
Really? What? Oh, Rainbow Six Siege. That's the game.
Yeah, that's the one.
I knew it was one of those like realistic shooter games. I was like, what am I? Because it's DICE, and DICE is EA Frostbite Engine. Dun 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 dun. You know, like that's Battlefield. That's what EA's known for, or was known for. Now they're not. Dude, isn't it crazy how Battlefield just fucking fell off like that? All those shooter games, dude. Like shooter games are like they're not becoming a thing of the past because everybody still plays shooter games. But like they've so evolved. Like, have you noticed that like shooter games are like now like hyper pop games, like Apex Legends and shit like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah.
those realistic shooter games are like not popular really, other than like R6, I guess. But that's because R6 is so competitive. That is weird to me. I played R6 with Smoke like 2 months ago. Jesus Christ, dude, that was bad. Smoke actually himself wanted to re-download R6, and I remember it was absolutely fucking hilarious because he was like we were playing and Smoke was just getting like tapped through walls because people are just sweats. And I remember Smoke just every single time, like every single game, I'd hear Smoke go, "Oh, what?" Like that, and he just got so mad, bro, because like people are such tryhards on that game now. You can't even play that game for fun anymore.
Yeah.
But no, it's a
now,
scary thing.
Here's what I'm going to do, just for the sake of it. I don't mind Ubisoft Plus's $15 a month subscription, but I don't want that to be the only form of access that I'm forced to go down to get access to games. Like what I've done is, because I don't always play an Ubisoft game, is I will subscribe with the Ubisoft Plus so that I could try out the array of games that they have come out with to figure out what I do want to purchase. Like I still haven't tried the new Assassin's Creed. I'm not going to pay $15 and it suck. You know, I haven't tried the new Avatar Frontiers of Pandora game. And I haven't tried some of the Far Cry games, and I most definitely have not tried Rainbow Six Siege. So rather than having to force myself to hawk over the $50, I actually will just spend $15 and be like, that game sucked, but here's this other one now I have access to for the rest of the month. I'll try that one, and I'll go through and basically use it to demo the games. And then at the end of the month, when I cancel the subscription, I go and I actually purchase the game, because I obviously don't want a subscription to go away and then I can't play a game that I like.
That's what I did with Xbox Game Pass. I wanted to see what the hype about Sea of Thieves was because my friends always played it. So I played it with them. And the game's pretty fun when you're playing with like 3 people, but it's like there's some people that play it way too long, dude. Like bro, you should not be playing Sea of Thieves for your whole life, you know. But like the only other game I played on Xbox Game Pass was I played Forza Horizon 5, I think it was, when that game was
Really?
popular. And I remember just absolutely not liking it because I always liked the Dirt franchise was fun, and like Gran Turismo's like Sony's big, realistic like racing simulator. But like I always felt that the thing about those games in particular was they're fun for like 5 minutes. And that's why Xbox Game Pass was good, because it was like, okay, good. I am not going to buy Forza Horizon 5. Like I'm not going to buy this game. And it's a good thing that I didn't just buy it to play it, because like if I bought it just to play it, it would have ended badly because I would have ended up wasting $60. But
Yeah.
it was those subscription services aren't necessarily a bad thing, and I think people should realize that they're not a bad thing, but only having subscription services is a bad thing. And that's why people like in the movie industry, they always tell you, streaming doesn't do the same that like buying physical or digital does. Because when you actually buy the movie, you are directly supporting the people who have produced that movie. When you put it through one of those softwares, I shouldn't say that. One of those subscription services, the payouts are way lower to the people who actually produced and made that thing. And that was the big thing about Oppenheimer, was like Christopher Nolan was like, dude, I want everybody on my team, to get paid properly. So I'm like not going to release it on streaming services. And then he released it on Peacock. So either Peacock decided, hey, we'll pay you, or like I don't know what happened. Maybe he's just a liar. That boy's a liar. I don't know. So, but that I don't like that the video game industry is trying to become like the movie industry and the film industry,
Yeah.
because like they're
It's
not the same
stupid.
thing. They're not the same thing whatsoever. And I think people need to realize that, uh, like, just because one thing works digitally for one, like, media format doesn't mean that it's gonna work for the other one. Ugh.
Yeah, just because things work well for uh, media in the form of like cable news doesn't mean that it works well for games. Games, don't ruin my games. Games are my freedom. Okay, I'm a nerd and a loser. Let me have my games.
Well, I mean, like, the thing about video games were they were always like, I mean, video games to a sense always had some sort of like, at least, like those shooter games. Like I'm thinking like Metal Gear Solid and stuff like that. There was always some sort of message that they were trying to produce. And I don't think having messages to video games are a bad thing. I will say sometimes though, I don't like those story games where like, like it's not fun. The gameplay sucks, and then it wins like game of the year because like, it's like oh my god, the people who made this game were just absolutely just, they worked their asses off, and it was such a diverse crew, and it's like, yeah, but I don't like The Last of Us. you know like I don't
Uh,
like The Last of Us, so I don't want to play your game. But I don't know, I think that was probably the most controversial moment in like video game history, was when like The Last of Us 2 wasn't a bad game, but like there was some other games that should have won that year.
dude, it was totally a bad game. Gameplay wise, the gameplay was good. Yes. The graphics were nice. Yes. But the problem is, you can have good gameplay and graphics all you want, but if you have a crappy story, nothing's gonna want me to stay.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how Hogwarts Legacy was in a little bit. I mean the story wasn't like bad, but like the problem with games like Hogwarts Legacy is like it's like the choose your own adventure shit. It always makes those stories so bland. because we have multiple different endings, but they're all super shit. Like they should have just like did one storyline, and had it go one direction.
That's kind of why I like because that's kind of why I actually like Baldur's Gate 3, because I've been playing it for like the last 2 weeks. Is I found a way to actually end the game, credits and all. I didn't even know it was an ending. Like they actually have multiple endings. Apparently, you actually can do whatever you want with your choices. I was like, oh, I thought it would force me through a plot. I was all like, oh, I can do that.
Like
okay,
Cyberpunk? Oh my god.
Yeah, like Cyberpunk promised. What Cyberpunk promised us, we actually got in Baldur's Gate 3, which actually, because it surprised the hell out of me. I'm not going to give away like plot because I don't know if anybody cares. But essentially, like one of your characters has a nuclear bomb in his chest, and you have to go blow up something or whatever. But I found out you can hit that button whenever you wanted, and I was like, hey, look. Well, why would I wait till like the third act to do anything in the game? Like all the baddies are gathered right here, like all the big bad guys. What if I hit the button now? I hit the button now, and I was expecting it to just say, hey, game over, all your party died, reload. I hit the button. It actually had a cutscene, and it was like, all right, that's the game. Here's the credits. I was like, what? I beat the game? So I reloaded the save, and I actually like didn't do that because there's obviously way more to the story if you don't do that. So I was like, bro, I ended the game in the beginning of Act 2. That was hilarious.
No, like Cyberpunk, I remember like you start the game and like you have like 4 choices or whatever, and like they all just lead to the same plot, and it's like, okay, then what's the point? Like the illusion of choice,
That's what I hated the most, because they promised us that if you picked the corporate background, you're going to be experiencing more of Cyberpunk through the corporate world. Bro, it was just an intro.
Yeah, it was a 10-minute part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I hate people who tell me Cyberpunk was the greatest game ever made. I'm like, did you go back to 2018 and what they promised? Like, did you go watch that 43-minute thing that they showed you on that one mission where you rescue the girl from the bathtub? Like, did you watch any of the development at all and then see the launch to realize it was just it was funny enough, it was worse than No Man's Sky being in the disappointment. Like, the world was not at all what they promised. And it pissed me out. They took this recent DLC and an updated patch to give you things they promised. Like, I don't know, combat in your vehicle. Woo.
No, dude, the thing is like, man, CD Projekt Red is a good video game company, and they actually were onto something. They were really cooking with the game, but the problem was they like, dude, this game should have dropped like this year. Like that game was 4 years too early. It almost felt like just look at like GTA. Okay, GTA is a hard thing to really standardize to. But the thing is at that point GTA was what, 7 years old? And like when you get better physics like from shooting a car in a game that's 7 years old than you do in that game, like at least try to keep the standard up to like 2013, Like GTA is hard. I get it. GTA is hard to set if you're setting your bar at GTA, you're setting your bar at the very top of the video game industry. Because GTA 5 is, one of the best games of all time. I mean, just with what Rockstar does with it, yeah. But at the same time, if it doesn't mean that you can't have some of those qualities and critique it for not having those qualities. Like when I shoot a car, I should expect shit to actually start getting like bullet holes and crumble and stuff like that. And all you get is like a shitty, like kind of like almost PNG like bullet hole, and it's like, what? Like I want more from that. All right, when we come back, we can keep yapping about that. We got some more other topics we're gonna talk about, and just remember, I hate you, Zach Baggins. All right. Give us like 5 minutes. Actually, no, it won't. It'll only be 2 minutes.
Welcome back to the Beastcast, baby. Thank you for staying tuned in this far. We have the best takes, best content. And we love our rabbit trails of conversation. We have our hosts, JJ and Raven Bones, bringing you another segment. I hope you enjoy. It did was give me like dialogue options down the road later in the game, and I was like, well, bro. Whereas funny enough, I actually thought I was gonna hate Baldur's Gate 3 because it's not my type of game. I hate turn-based shit. I hate it with a passion, but like I got addicted to it in like 20 minutes of playing simply because damn, there's titties. And there's a lot of other, but your actions, funny enough, actually matter. And they actually have dialogue for things that you didn't even think was possible in the game, that you thought that they would have never had a script for. Like in the beginning of the game, you can save people from the ship that you're on. And you don't actually have to do that if you don't want to. And later on, when you run into them into the game, they were like, hey, you're the dumb fucker who wouldn't save me from the ship before it crashed. I hate you. And then you got like an entire content cut off from you because you were a dick and decided to just be like, nah, save yourself and like leave them on the ship. That's all cut from you. Or you can there's a goblin camp, right? And you have to get rid of the goblin camp so this grove that has a bunch of druids in it doesn't get wiped out. You can actually, and I mean this, you could actually just say, nah, fuck it. And you could join the goblins, raid the whole grove, and slaughter everybody, and then you get to romance the leader, and she could be your girlfriend now on the adventure.
Dude, Baldur's Gate is like, bro, Baldur's Gate is so weird. We've talked about Baldur's Gate way too much.
Yeah.
I'm done talking about Baldur's Gate, but okay. Welcome back to the Beastcast, episode 38. We are yapping. We are just yapping. And the first thing I saw, I opened up Instagram for like 30 seconds because I have my notifications off. I have it hidden on my phone, and I only go on it about once a week, I completely tried to detox mostly from Instagram. I just want to make sure I don't have like messages or like something important. Like I hear like, hey, Grandma Georgina died, and it's like, what? So like, I went on here, and the first thing on my feed is from Kanye West. It says cream of wheat, and it shows a girl in literally like a fucking G-string. I can't even explain it. Like basically her ass is out on my feed. Like this is literally like, look at this. I send it to Raven, and it just says cream of wheat, and the top comment says, why you post this like it negates all the shit you've been saying for the past 10 years, including your gospel albums and your preaching. Say what you live by. Which one's the lie? And then somebody said, Kanye, what happened to the guy you were who wrote Violent Crimes? Like, everybody is just, like, so mad. They go, please chill. Can't even open this app in front of my kids anymore. Dude, like, what is this? Why did he post this? He posts some weird shit, dude. He posted one of, like, a girl with, like, her tits basically out through yeah, it was weird, dude. I think it's his new wife or something, dude. Because he's posted this girl like 30 times.
Dude, here's the thing. He got married to this new chick, and then they already had gotten divorced after a week. I actually don't know if he's still married. Like, this guy changes wives.
Also, okay, for everybody who's, and this might be a controversial thing that I'm about to say, but for everybody who's religious, and it doesn't matter what religion you are, can you please not post, like, gospel stuff in comments? Because, like, A, not only does it just kind of make the comments, like, lame, but B, also the thing about posting gospel stuff is, like, it's going to actually do more harm to what you're trying to preach than it does good to what you're trying to preach. Because most people are just going to scoff it off and get mad at you and hate what you're trying to preach even more. So maybe instead of going into random comment sections, like including like stuff, like I literally watched a video. It was like a dog with a butterfly on his nose, and he was like smiling, and it says "Me when I accidentally leave a fork in the microwave," and the top comment was like some three, four. I don't even remember here. I'll find it. It was like uh it said Peters 33-4, and I was like, come on, bro. No, I don't need this. I'm literally watching a meme, bro. Please. Like it just does. I feel like it just does more like. Yeah, I feel like it just.
Why
does
is she
more,
wearing that leather thing though?
Dude, like what is this bondage shit? I that's what I'm curious about. Is like Kanye posted, dude. He posted 2 of these. Like there's another one too. Look.
This gimp helmet type of top part. Yeah.
Look. Like I feel like he's just like being like, hey babe, go stand over there with that thing on. The bitch is gonna love this one. You know. Look at that. Like what is like what is that, dude? He also, dude, he's been, yeah, he's just, oh god, dude, it's
Dude
just,
been going through a lot of midlife crisis. Just give him a moment. Everything's gotten to him. All the drugs, money, women.
This is like the 5th midlife crisis he's had in like 5 years. I feel like.
Bro read Mein Kampf and misunderstood it, and now he it's all scrambled, bro. He's all, just give the boy some time. He'll come around.
Bro, no, dude.
Let the boy cook until his food burns.
The Hitler comments that he said were wild, and then he goes, actually, I don't believe in that. He goes, I don't even know why I said that. I was like, dude, then why are you saying anything about it, bro? Like,
you want to know what's funny? Is he went on the whole thing, right, where he was on the Alex Jones show, and he says all of this propaganda and stuff and stuff and everything else. Everybody was like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he's like, no, I don't believe any of that. I'm really sorry. And then he does a concert in like Cuba, where in the hotel room, there's some chick films him for 10 minutes going on a rant again, saying the exact same things, uploads it to YouTube or Instagram, and then he's like, nah, I was just playing though.
No, like, dude, that's like the best excuse, dude. That's the best excuse. Is just like, nah, that's yeah, no, I'm just playing. Like I'm
just commit.
Somebody said something. It was about oh god, what was it about? It was about okay, I remember. So it was when I was looking at stuff for the Ray movie. I was doing some research, and somebody said like this director said this thing and that he should be fired from the project. I think it was about Dave Filoni. And Dave Filoni said something about like how like he I can't remember, but this was like way back when he did Avatar: The Last Airbender, and he said something about like women in powerful roles in the show, and why the show is the way it is. And somebody like commented that and said like, oh my god, he said this, he should be fired from the project. And somebody just commented and just said, nah, he was just joking, I was there. Like, dude, like he like those are always the best, where people just like, especially people who actually like try to like who defend. I get that one was a joke, but like there's people who actually defend that shit, and they're just like, nah, he's just joking. Like, how do you know, bruh? Are you him? Are you on a burner account?
I love people. I actually do love people who do that.
It'll be like, nah, Gunner. Yeah, no, pushing P doesn't mean what you think it means. It means pushing positivity. I know, I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, pal. Pushing
as
P
the
is
table
literally
in the room. I can confirm what he said.
It's the tape. Yeah, I was actually copying stuff to the copier in the side of the room. You know, they actually say that like that's a great job to have. Like, you know how like people volunteer, they do volunteer work for like presidential campaigns and like congressional like runnings and stuff like that. They say if you want to get involved, and this is weird, if you want to get involved in politics, the best way to do it is to work for free. Because here's why. It starts out like that, where you're like, oh, I'll just come, I just want to volunteer, I just want to help out, you know, if anything I can. Oh, you know, go shred these papers, you know, in the back of the room while we discuss stuff. You go in there and you shred papers. And this is what we just did an episode with Skip Rutherford on the Career Pathways podcast. By the way, go watch that. It was a great episode. We did a lot of cool stuff with that. And Skip, he was Bill Clinton wanted him to be an advisor on his campaign, but he declined. And then he went and he was the dean of one of the biggest public schools in Arkansas. public colleges, sorry. One of the biggest public colleges in Arkansas, in Little Rock, and he was saying that like the best way to get into like politics is to work for free, because he knew this guy, right, who was just like copying papers, like, you know, he was just like putting stuff through copiers, shredding papers, doing like all the stuff nobody wanted to do. And one day he was in on I can't remember what president it was, but he was in on one of the meetings, and he was just writing stuff down, and he was just like copying stuff that they were saying, like a transcript, you know, because, you know, that's just how it goes. And the somebody said something, and the guy who was doing the transcript basically said, "Oh, no, that no, I went to school with that kid. Yeah, yeah, no, that's not actually how that was." And then he explained what it was. He goes, "Wait, you went to school with so and so who works for this presidential campaign on the like some opposing presidential campaign?" And he said, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "Where'd you go to school?" He goes, "Harvard." He goes, "So wait, you're copying papers and you're writing down transcripts and doing a bunch of bullshit work, and you went to Harvard?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "So then why are you doing that?" And he goes, "Well, I just want to be a part of something." So that guy who is literally doing transcripts ended up going on and being on one of the advisors for the campaign, and they actually, I can't remember what president it was, but they won that presidential election. It was in the, I want to say maybe it was actually Bill Clinton too, or maybe it was George Bush. It was one of those two around that time period. Not George H.W. Or George H.W. Not George W. The older one, the first one. It was either that or Bill Clinton. I can't remember. It was one of those two, and yeah, it was
Whichever one. Yeah.
yeah, whichever one of those. Yeah, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Was that Bill?
Mm.
Or was that
Yeah,
George?
that was Bill.
That's what I thought. He always talk. I remember. Dude. I love the way he talks. He goes, "Yeah, you know, it's kind of crazy how It's like, dude, just just speak. Like, I feel like he does that voice on purpose. Like he makes himself sound like an old man.
Sound like an old man that's still high.
Oh. Madam Web. Listen to this, Raven. Madam Web is set in its own universe outside the Venom films.
Okay.
So here's the funny part. So now we have four Spider-Man universes. We have the Marvel one, we have the Venom one, we have the End of the Spider-Verse one, and now we have the Madam Web universe. Dude, how many Spider-Verses are they gonna make?
You got to spin a lot of webs, bro.
Well, I was hoping they were gonna tie this all in. Well, okay, no, technically, if you want to be technical, the Into the Spider-Verse is technically canon to the Marvel one. So I guess there's 3. But still, I kind of count it as its own thing because, dude, God, Bill Clinton is just cursing me now. Because the thing is the thing is it's like Spider-Verse is animated. So like I always think like, you know, it's not part of it, but it is canon to it because it's just like a different dimension of the same universe, I guess, if that makes sense. Or I guess how does it work? It's a different universe but in the same multiverse.
Yeah, it's in the same like mythos.
Mythos, yeah, that's a good word. People should use that more. God, why is that dude, Raven?
It's in the same pantheon.
Raven, do you know what I was thinking about doing?
What?
I was thinking about saying fuck college, fuck all that shit. Go to a university and like, go to like one of those really respected high class universities. Once I get my grades up, and just study mythology, like just go and study Old Norse mythology for like hours. You know, like that would be so lit. But like I actually realized that I want to at least get my English degree and get my teaching's license, because that way, you know, then I can yap to people. Dude, I'm gonna be public enemy #1 when I get my teaching license, bro. No, actually I won't. I'll be a great teacher. I will be I feel like I'll be a great teacher just because I'm one of those people that always is like, okay, here's the thing that teachers, and no offense to teachers, but this is something, and especially English teachers in high school, I doubt we have any of those that listen, but if there are any English teachers who ever listen to this and get this far into the podcast, here's something that I would recommend. ChatGPT and all those AI softwares are not going away. And it's going to be tough to make people not use them. But here's the thing is, yes, I think what you guys are doing with wanting to have people actually write their own papers is a good idea. However, I think, me personally, it's not going away. Just like how the calculator won't go away from math. So, like in math, with calculators, why not just allow people to, use it to help them? I'm not saying have ChatGPT write a whole paper for you, because that is bullshit, and I agree that's bullshit. But, for example, when people write papers nowadays, nobody really writes it by hand, okay? And the thing is when you're using Grammarly and you're using Google Docs and you're using Microsoft Word, they already have AI software in there correcting you as you go. Why not just teach people how to properly use ChatGPT and stuff like that to edit papers and correct papers, right? So like, say like here, because think about it. Think about how much that saves when it comes to drafting. So you know how people always will be like, yeah, here's the first draft of my paper. I'm going to send it in to the teacher for review. What if you have your first draft of your paper and you say, hey, ChatGPT, here is this paper I just wrote. Could I please just get a little bit of feedback on what you think about it? And the AI will be like, well, you misspelled this word, or you just did this, and, maybe a word right there would work. It's not going away, and it's only getting better. So why not teach people how to use it properly? Because the thing is you're never going to fully get rid of ChatGPT. It doesn't matter, but people are going to use it. And I think instead of being so gun-ho, like, we're going to start writing papers by hand again. No, that's fucked up. Just let people use it, but not to the extent of where it writes the whole paper for them and they don't do anything.
Right.
Let
just
them
a
learn
simple
from it.
learning tool.
Yes.
But, bro, I have something to tell you.
What?
I feel like I am the only person that is actually wanting to see and be excited for Madam Web.
Really?
Yeah, I saw the trailer. Okay, like, look, I'm not saying it's going to be the best thing out there. I saw the trailer, and of course, Dakota Fanning is beautiful, and I never thought that I would ever see her do like a superhero or action type of thing. And, when I watched the trailer, I was kind of like, hey, I'm going to get flack for saying this, but yes, I want to see this.
Yeah,
like, if it turns out to be crap, I'll obviously come back here and go, okay, so endorsing this was the wrong idea. I'm very sorry. Like, if it's shit,
are you gonna go see it in theaters?
No. Okay. What? I don't go to theaters anymore.
It's got Adam Scott in it. Yo, Adam Scott.
But I liked the premise of what it was showing me in the trailer. I was like, hey, you know what? Even though I know why they're doing it, this is still a very good example of somebody just taking an idea and trying to just run with it creatively. So if it pans out, it pans out. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, Don't be afraid to crumple up the paper and throw it in the garbage, but at least you wrote it.
You know what? I agree with that. And I probably will go see this movie despite everything I've said about it. The thing about it is this movie's coming up soon. And
when does it release?
February 14th of this year.
On Valentine's Day. She's about to spin a web in my heart.
And I really wanted Kraven the Hunter first, but now we're not getting Kraven until after. So, wait, Kraven the Hunter's got Russell Crowe in it? Oh, God. So, Kraven the Hunter is actually going to be in the Morbius universe. So, but like, the Let There Be Carnage is already 3 years old. Oh God, how is time just going so fast? But, yeah, I will see this movie. Don't worry, I will definitely see this movie. The only thing is about this movie is I really, 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 really wish it was just in the Morbius universe.
Dude, Morbius and Dakota Fanning. Morbius and Madam Web. Now that would be amazing.
Dude, no. Like Madam Web, I want all the Spider-Verses to come together. Which they almost did. You know how what's his face? After the snap or whatever, you know how Morbius meets up with what's Vulture, you know?
Yeah.
He goes, "I think maybe me and you should team up," and Morbius goes, "Interesting." There's a video. And my Instagram feed's probably going to be absolutely chocked. So, I apologize for this. But unless it doesn't come up with mine. Okay, it doesn't come up with mine. Oh wait, no, I have to. Oh.
Dude, watch. Madam Web will come out. You'll absolutely hate it. I'll absolutely love it. And then every point I make during the podcast when we argue about it, you're going to be like, but bro, you sound completely contradictory to everything else that's like this movie. And I'll just be like, but Dakota Fanning, though.
I don't remember what my password is, bro. I want to
It's,
just Ah!
Your password is intellectually starved, that boy.
Okay, I'm just going to go Jared Leto. Instagram. Please tell me I don't need to sign into. Yes! Okay.
Dude, Morbius was a solid 9 out of 10.
Morbius. Oh. No. Okay. I think I can look it up on YouTube. I think it's here. Let's do Morbius 2. Oh god, no. I want to see that. Yeah. This yeah, right here. Here we go.
What are you reading?
Nothing really. Just
Reading.
It's Morbin time.
I like how you went along with the joke.
No, yeah, he dude, that's the thing about Jared, bro. Jared knows his role and everything, right? He knows his role in life. Like somebody asked him, it said, "How do you feel about being the guy who always gets killed at the end of every or at the beginning of every single early 2000s late 90s movie?" And he goes, "I love it." He goes, "Free money, dude." Like Paul Allen, he was in Fight Club and the same shit happened to him.
Sean Bean dying in every movie.
What would be a role Jared Leto would be really good at? Like, is there a role that you could think of that you would want him to play? Like, if you could cast him for a role in any let's say you were doing a project. What does he remind you of?
Hold on, let me pull up a picture of him just so that I can just give a good gander.
I have one, and we might actually almost kind of come to the same conclusion. It might be stupid and it might be dumb, but I think it would be so good.
Yeah, what's yours?
John Wick, but recasting John Wick and making it a dumb, not a parody movie, but a dumb version of it. You know, could you imagine? Could you imagine? He's like, we couldn't quite get Keanu Reeves, but here's an actor who would be willing to do this role, and maybe you throw in a couple jokes. He doesn't really have the same, because the thing about Keanu is Keanu's not a actor. Keanu's an action actor. So everything he does is you don't watch him for his acting, you watch him for his physical acting. And the thing about Jared Leto is Jared Leto kind of is a little bit of both, where his acting is okay, but his physical acting is kind of mid. So you give him that role, and I feel like it would just be the funniest thing ever. Just be like, yeah, I think I'm gonna need a gun. just saying, I just think in my head of his voice doing John Wick clips.
You know what he would be good as?
What?
He would be good as no, never mind. I can't do it. No. I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna say, you know what? He kind of has those eyes. You know, he could play a good Joker.
Dude, his Joker was absolutely crazy. I don't know how like his Joker like even like made it past like part 1 of anything.
Honestly, I was kind of over here like, all right, so that was it, cool. And then like everybody's hating on it, and I'm like, bro, we only got like a 5-minute scene. Like, I can't even say if I liked his Joker or not. I didn't even get to see enough of it.
His Suicide Squad does not do him justice at all.
No,
Like,
it doesn't.
Like literally not at all. And also the only other time we ever see him outside of that, I'm pretty sure, is only in the Snyder cut. And it's him
Mhm.
doing his stupid little thing in the what in that stupid like
A
dream that
post-apocalyptic.
yeah, Batman dream. And oh my god. He goes, "So, let's just call a truce." Or what does he say? He says something like that, and he pulls out the card and he starts laughing.
Dude, I actually liked that scene. That actually showed me that when he's given good lines and the director doesn't cut out his crap, that he actually is good as the Joker, because that scene was pretty dope.
I like the thing that I like the most about that was I loved how Superman was. Where Superman's like Homelander kind of, where he's like evil, scary, you know, he's been pushed over. And he's like in the scene where like Batman's like cuffed up, you know, and like Superman comes into the room and starts laser beaming like people to his left and right of Batman. Like I was like, "Oh, dude, this is fucking sick." Like, dude, Netflix, I know you're listening. If you could just please just say, "All right, DC, we're on our knees. Whatever you want. Just let us make one more Justice League film that's 5 hours long and we'll be done." That's it. It's over. We don't want any other properties. We just want to do Justice League one more time. Let Zack Snyder finish it out, and then that will be amazing. Martian Manhunter.
If I had the money of Elon Musk right now, I would be going to Zack Snyder.
Netflix.
No, I don't want another failure. Remember, I'm Elon Musk. I would go to Zack Snyder, and I would be like, hey, I have 200 mil, 500 mil to make the next movies. Sold. I will do it. I'll go to Warner Brothers and I'll just come in there and I'll write them a fat check. So you want 10 bill for the license to Justice League? Mm-hmm.
No. You know how like Warner Brothers and Discovery have just been struggling so hard? Just Bruce Wayne the shit. They're like, "How'd you get the house back?" "I bought the bank." Buy Warner Brothers, bro.
Buy Warner Brothers and then, like, all right.
And then just give them the rights.
I would run it all into chaos just for fun, but like it would work. It would be a good chaos. I'd be
what
like,
if you,
all right,
what if you try to like tank the company super bad and you end up just making like a bunch of good movies and like the company just like blows up again?
All right, Rock, come back. We're doing yours.
Right.
Come on, Black Adam, Shazam, let's go.
Black Adam, Shazam versus Superman. Ooh.
Man of Steel, let's go. Flash.
I feel like Henry Cavill doesn't want to do Superman anymore after the bullshit that happened.
He didn't want to do it anymore because they were running it into the ground, and they were going to turn Superman into a character he didn't agree with. Same with The Witcher. They were going away from the books he actually read, not just the video games he played. And they were actually ruining the story in the world, and not in a good way, not in like a, oh yeah, you can adapt this very well type of thing. He argued with the directors and the writers on the scene, on the set of The Witcher, until he basically said, all right then, because of creative differences, he quit because he didn't think they were doing the story justice. He knows you can't adapt everything from the books. You know, everybody knows that. That's why Lord of the Rings still did a good job for what it could. But he fundamentally disagreed with how they were starting to treat the Witcher series going forward. That's why he quit. And I would also bring back The Witcher. Oh, Blood Origins? Worst show in the world, bro. Don't even go to it. Yeah, like you want to know how bad that is? You want to know how bad that?
Okay.
You want to know how bad that Blood Origins is?
How bad?
You'll want to fire up Rings of Power and think it's amazing. That's not even an exaggeration. I actually made it through the first 2 episodes of Blood Origins that they released on Netflix, and I was already going back to Rings of Power. That's
Dude,
how bad it was.
I've heard House of Dragon is really good, but you like just absolutely have to just know everything about the show first. So
Yeah, you have to watch Game of Thrones first.
yeah, and I don't have time to watch Game of Thrones.
And
so I
I've
don't wanna
never
watch
even
that shit.
seen it.
Here's the thing is, Game of Thrones is a show I don't want to watch because it's gonna be a letdown because I know it ends like shit, right? So why would I watch this show that's really good and then it ends like shit just so I can put myself through that? No, dude.
George Martin did a 500 IQ move there. Purposely not write the last book that he needed to get written just so that he can see what the studio does. And then when the studio ends it, he could probably go, oh, well, I guess readers wouldn't have liked that. I'm going to scratch that out because that's what I had too. And we're just going to act like I never wrote that. Like, the dude did a great job at just letting them take the wheel for crap he never wrote, because now it's made him go, oh, people don't like that. People do like this. People don't like that. Oh, people wanted more from this character. I had no idea. Oh, like he allowed them to plow the field so he can know not.
Plow the field. Yeah.
Yeah, so he knows where to plant the seeds now and where not to. Like, he did a great. Now that next book, he'll be coming out with it very soon. Everybody's gonna read it, and everybody's go, "I wanted this from the show," and he's gonna be sitting there rubbing his hands, going, "If only you knew how it really was."
Dude. So, Raven, this year we have Rings of Power coming out.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's go. Why not? Let's.
Honestly, that's how I've been with Rings of Power. I'm like, dude, I know this is nothing like how it was ever intended to be, but at this point, I don't give a shit. I'm just treating it as like its own thing. What if they pull like a DC, dude, where like they start like making like spin-offs of Middle Earth, like its own Middle Earth world, like you know, like the Batman is in like its own like little thing outside of DC. What if like they do that with like Rings of Power?
I'm already gonna cry.
Look, dude, there's a new Galadriel, bro.
There's a new Galadriel. There's a new Sauron.
Really?
That dude you're looking at is Sauron. Rather than the guy that they showed us in the first season, who actually probably has an evil look to him while still being handsome.
I like this guy.
Yeah, apparently he's not. Now he's just some normal retard. Nobody cares about him.
This guy just doesn't look like Sauron.
No, he doesn't.
Well, I mean,
what
do we even know about? What was this all about? I still don't remember this bullshit. Like, you remember these people who were trying to get Gandalf to fucking... Like, that was actually a cool plot, but I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, those are a priestess of Eggmire, the Witch King.
Oh, okay. All right,
which,
when
of
we
course,
come back...
nobody will know.
Yeah, when we come back, yeah, we'll go nuts. We have one more topic. All right, welcome back to the Beastcast, episode 38. The last time we were just talking about Rings of Power Season 2's new fucking Sauron actor. I don't like him, but whatever. The show at this
He's about
point,
to redeem Mordor.
Dude, what if he's just like actually good? Like, what if he's actually a good actor?
I don't care. That's not Sauron. I'm sorry. There's only so much that you can do when it comes to certain things. Like Christopher Lee was actually what Tolkien had in mind when he created Gandalf, but we saw Ian McKellen still pulled it off because he still carried that look.
I mean, Christopher Lee still was in the film.
He was as Saruman, but here, the reason why he doesn't work as Sauron is because Sauron has to be incredibly beautiful, incredibly handsome, and he has to have a charm to him, which is how he was able to deceive people. This dude has none. You should have kept him and made him one of the Easterlings or part of the Numenorians that meet up with Galadriel later. He could still be a bad guy because things have to take a turn somewhere along the lines. He doesn't seem the part of Sauron. The dude on the left does because, you know, he has still that slight menacing look to him while still...
Well, did we ever see
charming.
Sauron's face? Like, do we ever see what he looked like? I mean, no, of course we would never see what he looked like, but is he ever described in the books?
Yes, he is described. He is described as a fair-skinned, very beautiful elf that probably one of the most beautiful male elves to be in existence, which is how he was able to give gifts to people like Galadriel and other rulers without anybody suspecting he was evil. He looked like he was divine from heaven.
Okay, here's the problem that I have with this guy. You see the picture that he's doing right now? He's mewing.
Yeah.
Like he's doing the Chad face, like where you like suck your lips in just a little bit and do the pucker, like the puckered lips, and you suck your cheeks in a little bit. Like nothing against that, but like that just like always scares me because it's like, what do you actually just look like, you know? Like people who mew, like Patrick Bateman is great because like you know how like Christian Bale looks, and then like you always see him doing the little like the mewing face where like he sucks his cheeks in a little bit and tries to look all like, you know, strong and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't trust that. I'm sorry. There's just something about it, bro.
Here's how Saruman's supposed to look. Okay, because he's supposed to look as like Anatar or even just in human form. Let me see if I can find the picture. Because they actually got it right in this game.
Is there like an artist rendition that Tolkien ever approved of?
He never really liked it when people did certain things. But I feel like Christopher Tolkien did like the portrayal of the characters in Shadow of Mordor, but he didn't like the story, obviously, but he's supposed to look like this.
Whoa. See, like, but the guy on the left doesn't really look like that either. So, you know, like...
He's trying to pull it off. If you dyed his hair white and had him shave, you know... But the problem here is they can't completely pull off an Anatar because they don't have the rights.
Oh, that's right. They don't have the full rights.
So
weren't they trying super hard to get it and they just couldn't?
Yeah. Christopher Tolkien was just like, I'm not giving it to you, but if you wanted to make a workaround, you have my permission. Yeah. Like, but you still have to convince me that guy is evil, that he's Sauron, and that he can deceive the whole world. That's why the first character worked well in the first season with Galadriel, because Galadriel was starting to fall in love with him. And that's how she got deceived near the end of the show. I can't see her falling in love or even just the idea of others being romanced by his power with the dude on the right. I just can't. I'm sorry. You know, do not redeem.
Do you know what I liked about Rings of Power that they did in The Walking Dead that I don't like? Is that progressive storytelling. So like the Rings of Power has 4 different, you know, plot lines, right? 4 different plots going on. And they keep cutting back to each one, you know. And honestly, the cutting was at very good paces. Like I felt like, okay, I want to see what's happening now in the next one, right?
Yeah.
And you know how like The Walking Dead tried to do that shit where it's like each episode is a different plot line? So like you'd get this group and then the next episode you get that group. So you'd have to wait like 4 weeks to see what the next group the group, you know, like Rick's group is doing, you know, after his episode airs. Like I'm glad they didn't do something like that because they totally could have done something like that, and I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they did it the way they did. I actually thought the pacing of the show was really good. There was a decent amount of things that, like, here's the thing is Amazon knows how to make things work with what they have. Like when you give them full rights, like for example with The Boys, when you give them everything, like Amazon has proven they can make a good show. Okay, like The Boys is a perfect example of that. Like you know, the whole point of the source material was it just was meant to be brutal, gross, nasty shit. And you turn it into this plot line, you know, that even like the people around like the original creation were like, yeah, you know, that's a cool idea of it. It's not what we intended, but it's cool. And then you have like the Rings of Power, where it's like they didn't get everything they wanted, so now they're just trying to like make so much money off of it, and it's just not quite working.
Yeah, it's not.
I almost would wonder what it would look like if they actually did get all the rights, because I'm sure they probably would have changed up how they did the show. And I'm sure they probably wouldn't have had the stupid plot line with the archer. Like the elf archer.
Discount Legolas.
Yeah. I'm sure they would have replaced that with like maybe a Legolas, you know, person. Or even Legolas himself, you know, like Legolas's like, you know, point. But they didn't get the rights to that. But they don't have the rights to Gandalf either, so like you can't really turn the guy into Gandalf, can you?
That's why they never called him Gandalf.
Yeah.
They're probably going to call him by one of his other names that he's ascribed to in the book without calling him Gandalf.
Yeah. Well, what if
You
like
could
they
s- yeah.
what if like halfway through season 2 they just get like all the all like the rights, you know? And then like then like everything just switches. Like you know how like when it switched from you remember when TV switched from analog to digital and it just
Mhm.
like that? What if it just does that where it's just like everything just becomes like a different thing? And he goes, "Yeah, my name is Gandalf. Of course. How did you not know that?" Okay. Troy Baker will voice Indiana Jones in the Great Circle. It's a first-person Indiana Jones video game. I love
Oh,
Troy
I
Baker.
heard that they were doing that.
I love Troy Baker. I don't know if you know who Troy Baker is. Have you ever played Uncharted? Troy
No, but
Tr-
yeah.
Troy Baker is a very respected voice actor. He's done a lot of stuff. And he played my favorite thing that I know him from is him and Nolan North, who plays Nolan North plays Rick Toffin. He plays uh 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 who else does he play? He plays Nathan Drake. He plays a bunch of people. Him and Troy Baker are really close friends, and Troy Baker actually got to be Sam Drake, like Nathan Drake's brother in Uncharted. And Troy Baker is a great voice actor, and his Indiana Jones like voice acting is pretty good. There's a trailer of it. I haven't quite seen it, or at least there's like a semi trailer of it. I think sort of.
Yeah, and he voiced the main guy in Middle Earth: Shadow of War.
Yes, he did.
And he was in God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, he was. Yeah, who did he play?
Yeah,
in God of War Ragnarok.
he played that the bitter squirrel.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, that's why it sounded so cool when I heard somebody playing the game and I heard that squirrel. I was like, hey.
So it's actually from Bethesda too, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, great! Now it'll be shit. Starfield of Indiana Jones.
Starfield as Indiana Jones. So the game.
You're wondering if maybe you should have built yourself a life of meaning.
So apparently it takes place like it takes place in between. Yeah, it's set in between the events of Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Last Crusade.
Instead of ending up here, dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
Oh, Lucasfilms Games actually is going to be on the project too. Oh God! Did you see that?
16 times the adventure.
Did you see that? Look right there. Executive producer Todd Howard is actually fully producing it. Oh God.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lie.
Myths,
It looks cool though.
history.
I kind of wish there was a third-person mode though. Like honestly.
Wow, this looks like it has the budget that Starfield should have.
Just different ways to interpret the past.
Dude. I'm gonna be straight honest. Now that Indiana Jones is spoiler alert for everybody who hasn't seen the Dial of Destiny or whatever. Now that like we know like he can go back in time and like all this crazy shit can actually fully happen, like it's not just like archaeologist shit, dude, they better go berserk with this shit. Like, okay, dude, okay, this game works really good as first person, but dude, wouldn't it just be cool if there was just like a third person mode? Like kind of like
Yeah.
you know how like the Star Wars games do it? Like something like that, right?
To be found.
Like, oh my God, dude, it would literally, dude, if it was in third person, do you know what it would play like? Uncharted.
Probably, yeah.
It would literally be Uncharted, bro.
To be found.
Because, like, Uncharted is completely based off of,
Just run away.
like, Indiana Jones. Like, is, like, the biggest thing.
Watch me.
Oh, dude, the Wilhelm
Throughout
scream.
history, mankind has built sites of great spiritual significance. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you get a perfectly aligned circle.
So maybe there is a third-person mode, because that scene looked like it was in third person there for a sec.
I've had run-ins with these guys before. Trust me, it ain't a walk in the park.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
What do you mean if I can keep up? Patron of the fallen angels. Protector of the Chukulimani. The Great Circle. You have any idea how old that was?
Okay, look. Okay, hold on. Let me give you. I don't know if this game will be good or not. That last part there made it seem like it's probably gonna not be good. But I will actually go along for the ride. Okay, I don't care if it's not revolutionary. Okay, the graphics look great. It seems like it might play great, but a little clunky. I will actually play this game just to go on an Indiana Jones ride, regardless of how crappy it might be. I think I'll have a lot of fun. You can go wrong with that. With that theme song playing, bro, chills go up my spine because I'm like, yeah, let's go. Don't know what the Great Circle is, but let's do it.
Well, dude, it's playing off of that myth that, like, you know how, like, back in the day, the ancient people, like, ancient civilizations, like, all made these big monuments, and, like, that thing is, like, playing a play on that, where, like, they all, like, line up, and so it must mean something, you know? Like, it's some Indiana Jones shit. No, if this game was third person, bro, it would literally play exactly like an Uncharted game. Like, 100% would. Okay, Dell Optimizer, thank you for just blasting my eardrums. I appreciate that. Fucking, how likely are you to recommend Dell Precision 360? Never! Okay, so yeah, I'm kind of excited. I will go along for the ride too. It's gonna come this year, probably in the summer. It looks like it could be interesting. I hope there's a third person mode. I think in third person that game could be absolutely hilariously fun. In first person it looks fine, but in third person it would be so good.
Oh man.
See, now if it was being done by Sony, which would have been the correct way to do this, you know, but Bethesda's owned by Xbox, and I'm sure they got the rights from Lucasfilms, and oh god, whatever. Dude, you know what? Look, I don't have a problem with Bethesda, but, like, their last 4 games have been absolute misses, you know? Like, that's the problem that I'm scared with. Like,
that is.
Fallout 76 was a very big miss, and then it got good. It kind of cyberpunked it. It got good way too late. Starfield was very... I mean, from what I've heard, it's just everybody just doesn't like it. And then, what was the other game they did that everybody didn't like? It was that game... Oh, shit. Fuck.
I think you hit it on the head, though.
Elder Scrolls 5. Yeah, nobody liked that game. Yeah, those last 3 games were pretty bad.
Yeah, those last 3, because I don't know of what else they came out with.
Deathloop.
That was dumb?
Yeah.
Oh, well then fuck. Yeah, that was crap.
That was a game I was thinking of. My friend Alan used to play it all the time. Fucking Deathloop. Ugh. Yeah, no, that game I heard it was dog shit.
16 times the loops.
16 times. Dude, the way Todd Howard speaks is fucking hilarious.
It really is.
But like the one thing, dude, no. I just wish Lucasfilms would have went to Sony. I feel like Naughty Dog could have done since they've already done Uncharted, they could have done a really good Indiana Jones game. And to see an Indiana Jones game, think about it. Uncharted is based like solely off of Indiana Jones, right? So could you imagine now giving them the actual property rights to Indiana Jones and making an Indiana Jones like game? Like, dude, they would go berserk.
Dude, I hope this game hits, because rather than trying to put out a movie that people will just tear apart or be like, why did you do to my character, or some other dumb thing, If you just start making Indiana Jones games, Life After the Great Crusade, The Last Crusade, and all that
Bring
other
back
cool
Shia
stuff.
LaBeouf.
Exactly. We could bring back Shia LaBeouf's character. We can actually go find the aliens ourselves. We could go do, think about all the other myths that, and all the other cool things that are buried that have been hypothesized. Okay, well, hello, dude. Did you go to retard school? That have been hypothesized that Indiana Jones never really got to touch on, like in the Dial of Destiny.
Dude,
That could be made into amazing games that all connected together or something.
do you know what I've always thought would be a good idea? Is
What?
Treyarch, the people who were behind Call of Duty. For those of you who don't know, Treyarch Studios is actually a very well-respected studio who don't just make Call of Duty. Yes, the reason why they make Call of Duty was because they were a respected studio. They wanted a good studio in the mix, you know? So Treyarch made the original Spider-Man games, like on the PS2 and all that. The I'm going to die, you know that one, you know where the pizza theme comes from. Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
yeah.
dun. Yeah. So they made those ones, and then they got hold of Call of Duty. With them, their Call of Duty Zombies mode, like their writers, their old writing team. I've always thought if they got their old writing team back together, the ones that made all the Nazi, like the 935 stuff and all that, and you gave them an Indiana Jones game, could you imagine? Like the aliens, like Die Glock and like the Bell and all that stuff, and like all these wonder weapons and all these crazy things with the alien technology and going to the moon and shit like that. And that the Nazis have a moon base, you know, where they're trying to collect souls, like crazy shit like that. That like was always like hypothesized and like was always the theories, like, oh, the Germans and the Nazis were, you know, doing all this crazy shit, and that's why they knew how to get to the moon. That's why the United States, that's why they helped them, because they already had been to the moon, you know, and stuff like that. And like, I feel like a game on that would be awesome. Like,
Yeah. And
Like-
you can't tell me Indiana Jones wouldn't have gone to Antarctica to look at those pyramids.
ooh, dude, no, not just that, like everything, like the pyramids on the moon and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really old Greek tale. I love it. It's just called I think it's just called the epic. It's literally just called the epic because the guy was like he was like a parody artist. He was like a parody writer before parody writers existed. He was a parody writer in Greek times. And he was tired about all these people going like coming back from like sailing on ships and be like and making up these stories like, oh my god, there was a big typhoon and we got sent all the way into the stars and we traveled the stars and we came back. So he made one where these guys basically get shot up, like there's this big storm, and this big storm, this big wave shoots them out of the Earth's atmosphere to the moon, and they literally row their boat to the moon, and they go to the moon, and there are people there. It's an entire colony of men. It's an entire colony of straight just people, like guys, in particular men, who give birth out of their calves, and their calves get really swelled up, and they just produce more of these humans on the moon. And it's like a human race on the moon. And like then they were talking about how they were at war with like the people on the sun. So then they go and fight the people on the sun, and then they come back and they're like heroes in the Greek time because they were gone for like thousands of years or something like that. And the Greeks had evolved to be the Greeks like basically were like these unidentifiable beings when they came back and stuff, like they couldn't even. It's an awesome tale. I I love it so much. And like stuff like that, like those tales, like dude, I've always thought like Indiana Jones and like especially COD Zombies, because I used to be really big on COD Zombies, and the lore of COD Zombies for game mode, for just one game mode in a game, is insane. Like all the conspiracy theory shit that goes into it, and like how like it all like they actually try to play it into like real stuff, like when the United States actually was just basically like being like, hey, you know, if you don't want to get tried for your crimes of war, you Nazi scientists, why don't you come and help us build rockets, you know, stuff like that. And so like there's a doctor who was part of Group 935, a Nazi doctor. His name's Dr. Schuster, and he worked with Richthofen on creating Die Glock, which is the teleporter. And there's a scene where him and Richthofen, they make a peanut. They shoot a peanut from one side of the teleporter to the next, and they go to show Dr. Maxis, like their big advisor, and he goes, Dr. Maxis, look at this, and he puts a peanut in there, and he presses the button, and the peanut like teleports to the other side, and Dr. Maxis goes, cool. And he goes, what do you mean? Isn't that like, this is extraordinary. This is like a breakthrough in science. He goes, yeah, maybe for the peanut company, cool, you can shoot a peanut from one side of the room to the next. He goes, I don't give a shit. I want people going through this, damn it. Like stupid shit like that would be so
Yeah.
like listening to shit like that would be so good, bro. Oh, I love that. I want people shooting through this, damn it. We have to win this damned war. That's what he'd always say at the end of all of his radios that you'd find. He'd go, we have to win this damned war. Oh man. No. Spider-Man 4 will reportedly feature a villain that has not been adapted to live action yet. And somebody said that there's a villain from there's a villain from Spider-Man, and I'm gonna put it up here because I don't actually know his name.
Ooh, secret villain.
Yeah. His name is The Wall. This is what everybody thinks the villain's gonna be. It's a guy who's literally a brick wall from Earth 57780.
What?
No, this was the joke one. You know the villain. Did you ever play the Spider-Man games?
No.
Oh, okay. There's a villain from. There's a villain from this game that hasn't been here, right here. This guy. This is apparently the guy. His name is Mr. Negative. So
Damn.
his like whole thing is that he can his name is Martin Lee. He's like he's like a business guy. He's also like he's supposed to be like a really good guy for the community, and like he turns out to be like a horrible dude. Also, can I just say the villains in this game look fucking awesome?
They do. I'm looking at those pictures you're showing.
Like, oh yeah. No, dude, there's some good Kingpin, Electro, Rhino, Scorpion. Shocker was a fun villain to play against. Vulture was pretty cool in this. Also, they don't show you the big bad guy, but spoiler alert, since the game's been out for fucking 6 years, the guy who's not on here is Dr. Octavius. He turns into a villain, and he's actually secretly been behind all of this the whole time. But yeah, Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative is he's probably supposedly going to be the villain. The other one said some people said the Chameleon would be really good. Somebody said well, people really think it's going to be Mysterio again for some reason. I don't know why everybody I think they just want Jake Gyllenhaal back.
Tried so hard. Desperate. We need someone good. We need someone everybody trusts. We need to get people back to the box offices.
Fuck it. Here's Jake Gyllenhaal, even though he's dead.
I honestly think they would do well with the wall guy.
You think the Wall would be good?
Oh yeah.
Mr. Negative's pretty good. The Wall, Spider-Man. I don't know. Here's one wall you'll never crawl. He's like such a goofy villain, dude. What? Like, why? There's also apparently one whose name is just Big Wheel. There's some really weird
Big
Spider-Man.
Wheel.
Yeah.
He seems like a well-rounded character.
Somebody made a mod and added him to the game, I guess. Did you ever have a Big Wheel when you were...
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Really? Dude, Big Wheels were the shit, bro. Made by the terrible Tinkerer. So the Tinkerer was the person from the Spider-Man. The Tinkerer is already done. Spider-Man Miles Morales game. The main villain is the Tinkerer, and it's this girl. I'm sure she'll pop up like instantly, or maybe not. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. God, I fucking hate that movie. Where is it? All right, fine. She looks badass in this, though. Fuck, I spelled it like a dumbass. Her suit is badass. I fuck with it.
No, you spelled it like the British do.
Yeah. Tinker, eh? Wait, both. A little bit of tinker, eh?
Bottle of water.
Well, at least we don't get shot going to school at 5 in the morning when I have to walk through 30 miles of mountains.
Nah, they just get stabbed.
Yeah. Stabbing. I will say this though. Dude,
That
fuck
villain
British
looks cool.
people. Yeah, no, and also it's not just also what's his name? Oh, that's Corey Kenshin. Fucking the Prowlers. I don't like this is my least favorite Prowler suit actually. This is what the Prowler looks like. I don't like it. I like the Tinkerer a lot in this game. I think the Prowler kind of sucks a little bit. Rhino's in this game too, and he's like redone, and it's kind of funny. What else is? Yeah, dude, it has a really sad ending. What's? Oh yeah, my favorite Prowler suit probably from Spider-Man. Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. Prowler. I think this is the best looking Prowler. I like this Prowler a lot. It's very comic.
Oh yeah,
booky.
that looks great.
It's very comic booky. Big ass forehead.
Dude looked like he came out of the Princess and the Frog movie.
Dude, no. That it does. It does. Cause what does the Prowler look? Oh, dude, the Prowler chase scene is so good. Spider-Man, Prowler. God, Spider-Man, Minnesota. The original is kind of. I don't like the original. I think it looks stupid, but the claws. That was like the whole thing about him. Ew. Dude, when people just have thighs the size of your head, it's like scary.
Dude. Never mind.
I was gonna say, don't say what you're about to say. That's probably not gonna end well. Hey, Discord sending me. Oh, I sent you that. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 has officially been retitled to Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, so there's no part 2, or is part 2 like a different name now?
So that's what I'm wondering. So do you think? Okay, now I didn't like. Here's the thing about Mission Impossible. It wasn't in my top 10 movies of the year because it wasn't. But it was not bad for the Mission Impossible movies. I will say this though. Like Mission Impossible. Okay, this is my hot take, and I think a lot of people don't like this, but I really like the first Mission Impossible, like the very first one. I know like a lot of people think it's okay, and then like the next couple are okay. You're more versed on the Mission Impossible. So first off, did Mission Impossible never went by names? It always was like MI6, wasn't it? Like MI5, MI4.
Yeah, it was always MI1 to MI, and then MI2, MI3. It did not have titles.
But then like they gave them titles afterwards, right?
Yeah, they did. I believe somewhere around either the fourth movie is when they gave it a title.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So, do you think there's gonna be a second movie then, or do you think it's just gonna be a different name? Like, there has to be because like they completely like left it on like a to be continued. So like there has to be another movie. It just, is it gonna just be a different title now then, or what?
I guess. I don't know what they would call the next movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they just thought part 1 and part 2 seemed a little and so they just wanted to like give it a different name.
Maybe they were giving it the Fast and Furious treatment, where like, you know how they were gonna just call it Fast X 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah.
And then they changed it. I think they're probably doing the same thing. I think they realized that having part 1s and part 2s just never works. You know?
No.
So I don't know. But yeah, so Mission Impossible is now just called Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. That's just what this one's called. So, but like, did the Mission Impossible? I know like character development always changed over. But was there ever a villain that spanned through like multiple films in Mission Impossible? I thought it was always like a one and done. Like by the end of the movie, the villain was done. Like in
you know what? I actually don't remember.
Because like in in James Bond, there's like the thing about James Bond is like the main villain's always done, but there's always like some sort of bigger villain always in the background. Like for example, if you go by James
Yeah, I
Bond.
think it's always been one and done villains, with just the organization that they all work for being the only thing that carried throughout the films.
So the thing is like the thing about Skyfall, in that, so like Skyfall is like the organization, and the Quantum of Solace is also like an organization as well. So like they're all like kind of connected until about here, I want to say, and then No Time to Die is another one and done villain. Uh, Rami Malek plays this like guy, this like a Russian guy who's just obsessed with Japanese culture. Um, and then this girl, she's like so Daniel Craig, James Bond, he like goes off the grid, right? And he retires. Like he doesn't die. So like the whole point of like Skyfall is he dies supposedly, but he's actually alive. He just like wanted to be done. So Skyfall, he dies. So then they replace him with somebody else. They do the same thing, but Daniel Craig just basically retires, like he goes MIA in No Time to Die. And so they give a new 007 to this girl, and he just gets so upset because she's like the new 007, and he is just like, he's just trying to like prove that he can be 007 just for him to just it just ends badly for him. It's kind of funny though. Like they're a pretty good duo, but we won't be seeing any more of this duo anymore. That's all I'm gonna say. Daniel Craig's a good guy. He played in what movie did he play in? God damn it! Show me his movies. Well, whatever. He played in Glass Onion, Knives Out. He played in a bunch of stuff like that. So oh yeah, I remember Q got really big for some reason. I remember the first time seeing Q, and then everybody just like loves him now. Q's first movie was Skyfall. But yeah, no. So yeah, Mission Impossible has a new film title. And so we'll have to see where that goes. Raven, anything else before we send her off to the promised land?
No, that's about it.
All right. Thank you guys for listening and watching the Beastcast. We appreciate you. As always, if you guys are new here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're on Spotify, make sure to save the podcast so you get notifications when the next episodes upload. We also have the Beast Unleashed on Fridays, and these air every Wednesday, so make sure to go check them out and try to get on top of that. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you, I guess, on Friday. Have a great little rest of your Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.